Hi, welcome. I am Dr. Esther. It's really nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today. So, I know your doctor sent you over because you're having some concerns with your skin. So, I wanted to take a look at those. And it's mostly sun damage and acne scarring. Is that correct? Okay. All right, let me pop on some gloves and take a look at that for you. Are you comfortable where you're sitting? Okay, great. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lean in a little close, and I'm initially just going to take a good look at the surface of your skin, and then we'll do a couple of different small treatments, and we'll see how everything goes. Do you have any makeup on or anything like that? Okay, great. So I'm just going to lean in a little close. Is that okay? Okay. All right. So let me just take a look. Okay. So I see some of the concerns mostly on the forehead, right? Okay. Okay. All right. Lift your chin. Thanks. Okay. So it's not too bad, I don't think, honestly. So I don't want you to stress too much. Okay. I'm going to do an initial wipe of your skin just to get, there's some oil, nothing major. I know it's hot outside. So, okay. Let me get a little wipe. This. Okay. Let me just wipe your skin down really quick. Okay. Great. Can you lift your chin? Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it does. It smells like peaches. I hope that's okay. I should have warned you first. Most of our clients really like it. Yeah, it's all natural. It's something that we use in house, and I'm glad to send you some samples home. Basically, it is an astringent, just to kind of clean off anything that's on the skin and work up anything that's in the pores. So, if it's okay with you, I'd like to take a little bit closer look with my light. I will keep it out of your eyes. Might be a little bit bright though. If you want to close your eyes, feel free. So I just want to take a little bit closer look. Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah. All right. So what I am essentially seeing is some old acne scarring that has some buildup in it, and I'm also seeing a little bit of sun damage, but I think that can be managed with some simple treatment that I'll send you home with. So if it's okay with you, I am going to do a few extractions for you. Okay. I promise it's not going to hurt. I'm going to use some very simple tools, which I will show you. I'm going to use a tool like this. Okay. Other side is just a little bit smaller. And then you have a couple of blackheads that are ready to come up. So I'm going to use a tool like this. Click a little circle and then a little loop on the other end to push it out. Okay? Is that all right? If at any time you feel any pain or any discomfort, let me know and I will stop immediately. Okay? But you shouldn't feel anything other than a little bit of pressure. Okay. So I'm going to start with the blackheads on your nose because those tend to be the easiest. Okay? So just push. Perfect. Let me get that. Just wipe your skin off as we go. Okay. Again. Okay. Push the last of it out. Thank you. Okay, 2 more on your nose. The last of it. Yeah, that was kind of a big one. Okay, and then 1 more. Okay, perfect. Great, that wasn't so bad. All right, let me wipe your nose off again with some more of that spray. That's okay. Just to kind of clean it off a little bit. There. It kind of cools it down too. I know sometimes when we remove that material that's been in your skin, it can get a little tingly. So hopefully that'll calm it down. If it doesn't, let me know. Okay, you have 2 spots on your forehead I'd like to take a look at. I'm going to bend down just a little bit. Perfect, just like that. Okay. Wipe that off. Thank you. Great. There. Beautiful. Okay. Again, use a little bit of spray on you just to keep it cooled off. Okay. There we go. All right. Are you doing okay? Great. I want to use my light again just to look at those 2 spots on your forehead. Now that you've cleaned them out. Yeah. Okay, so you do have a little bit of sun damage, and I will treat that for you, and I'll show you how to treat it at home as well, okay? Now, you've got 1 spot that I saw you kind of mess up a little bit when you came in. I'm sure it's really sore on your chin. I hate to ask, but is it getting close to that time for you? Yeah. So those are usually hormonal when they're on your chin and on your jawline. And there's really nothing you can do to prevent them. Unfortunately, they just are what they are, and we have to kind of work through them. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one off for you. And please, please, please try not to pick when you're at home. I know it's really tempting, and it temporarily makes it feel better. But I'm going to send you home some solution that you can put on it to kind of ease the stinging, and it will help open that up. So it'll open on its own, and you're not going to feel the need to pick, okay? All right, let me get that for you. Perfect. Okay, get that cleaned up. A little bit more I'm going to get. Perfect. Okay. Let me spray that off for you. Okay. Feel better? Great. So let's talk about the sun damage a little bit. There's 2 products that I'm going to send you home with. One is a brand new bottle, obviously, of this oil. This is what you're going to use as a cleanser. And it's really simple. You're just going to do 2 pumps on dry skin and massage it in. And nothing else that you have to do. Just massage it in very gently all over your whole face. It's great for cleansing the whole face. Do this after you remove your makeup. And once you do that, you will find that your skin is very well cleansed. All of the leftover makeup has been removed. Everything is good to go. And then let that, just pat your skin dry, let it sit for a couple minutes. And then you're going to use this product, which is salicylic acid, which is going to get into those areas of sun damage and help refresh those skin cells faster than they would on their own, which is going to help fill in their scars. Now, promise me that when I give you these, you are going to wear sun lotion every day. I don't care if you don't wear makeup. I don't care if you don't go outside other than to get the mail, but you need to wear some type of sun protection on your skin anytime you are awake, okay? So it's just this acid will make your skin extra sensitive to the sun. So you need to be super careful about that, okay? All right, great. So I am going to cleanse your skin with this. Okay. I said just a couple of pumps. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, it's unscented. It's very light. Okay, that's all you have to do. All right, great. So I'm going to take my gloves off really quick. Since your skin is clean, my hands are clean, and we're going to wipe this off with a clean towel. You don't have to use anything wet, just wipe it off. If you want to use a damp towel, you can. Okay, perfect. Now, let this sit a minute. Before you do the acid treatment, if you want to really, really, really open your pores, I will send you home some of the spray that we've been using, and I will use it now. Just to kind of refresh your skin after the oil wash. Just open up your pores. Everything. Great. Okay. This acid, don't have to shake it, don't have to do anything special to it. You can just put it on a little cotton round. I would prefer a cotton round or a cotton square for you instead of a cotton ball, just because cotton balls tend to shred a little bit. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drops is all you need. We're going to put this over your whole face, even though the big focus area is your forehead, but it will help your whole face with any sun damage that we haven't seen yet. Perfect. Okay. How's that feel? It's a little cold. It's always going to be a little bit cold. Some people in the summertime actually like to put that and the spray as well in the fridge, or if you have one of those makeup fridges, put it in there, just make it a little more refreshing. Let this air dry on your skin for a couple of minutes. Great. Now, since you are going to leave the office, I am going to put on some SPF 30 for you. I would recommend nothing less than SPF 15 on your face. Have you ever had any problems with sunscreen on your face before? Okay. If this product, and I'll send you home a sample, you think it's causing an allergic reaction, you have an itch, or your skin looks extra red, try a little patch test on your wrist. Wash your hands, wash your wrist off really good, and just put that on there. It could be that you're having a sensitive reaction to the acid, and that's only once a day. Some people are very sensitive to certain sunscreens. This one should be very hypoallergenic, shouldn't bother you at all, but we want to eliminate and go forward. So if you have problems with either one, call the office right away and we'll work that out, okay? I'm going to put this on your face all over. I just kind of like to dot it in like so. And we're going to rub it in all over your face. Get your nose really good, get your chin, lift your jaw. I'm going to get under there too. And then down your neck. Okay, great. Do you use sunscreen on the rest of you when you go out? Okay, I recommend doing it all of the time. Some people like to mix it with their body lotion, but even if you're working in the office all day, you're going to get out of your car, you're going to go inside. Any sun exposure, any time of year, summer or not summer, is really hard on your skin. So, and since you've already started showing signs of skin damage, you have fairly fair skin, you're unfortunately susceptible to some damage. So we want to make sure we take care of that, okay? All right. I will send you home with samples They will get that to you at the desk. I'd like to see you back in 2 weeks. Check everything over, at which point we'll do a much more thorough skin exam. We will look for, I'll turn the lights down. We'll look for sun damage that we don't see right away. I'll shine a special light in your face. We'll do kind of an exam like that. We'll look at your acne to see if it's more just hormonal or if it's an ongoing problem for you. We'll talk about some different things we can do for your skin at that point. We'll go from there. Okay. Do you have any questions? Great. They'll have a bag for you at the front with everything that you need. They'll have written instructions in there. You can also log on to your health portal and you can look up my name. The office, it'll have the instructions for everything. It will have a chance for you to reorder. You can get them through your pharmacy, which I highly recommend because it saves money. I send you home enough samples for the first 2 weeks, and then you can order them through the pharmacy. I'll write you a prescription when I see you again in 2 weeks. Okay, great. It was so good to see you. I hope this works out for you. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to call. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do another unboxing, and today I wanted to feature Claire's. If you're like me and you're old enough to remember what malls were like and you could actually walk around in them and buy things, Claire's is probably something that you're very familiar with. If you don't remember malls, Claire's was a jewelry store that probably a lot of us got our ears pierced at for at least the first time, but Claire's was a jewelry store that you could actually afford. They sold nice jewelry for things like prom, and if you were someone who went through confirmation at church, they would sell cross jewelry and cubic zirconia jewelry for those kinds of occasions, or if you were invited to be in someone's wedding. But mostly they sold inexpensive costume jewelry, junk jewelry that all of us could afford with our babysitting money, or if we busted into our little brother's piggy bank, or whatever the case may be. But Claire's is still a staple. Primarily in larger malls and outlet malls. So I went to one of the outlet malls here in Chesterfield, Missouri, and they actually have a Claire's outlet. So I was super excited. Hadn't been in Claire's in probably forever. But I was also excited because this was an outlet. And as I was walking up to the store, I noticed they were having their 3 for 3 sale. So hair accessories and almost all of their jewelry was buy 3 get 3 free. So that was pretty cool. And yes, inflation has happened even at Claire's, so things are a little more expensive, but I was able to get an entire bag of stuff for about $20. So I was super excited. I did do some shopping around to make that happen, but super excited. So one of the things that Claire's was known for was their sets of jewelry, so multiple earrings on one card. And this is one that I got. I like to get fish hook earrings because stud earrings tend to bother me when I'm at work and I'm either using the actual phone or I'm using my headset. So I try not to wear stud earrings, at least on the side that I use the phone. So I always try to go with fish hooks, but I thought this was cute. It's all bears. There's pigs, bears, bunnies, ducks, dogs. So I just thought it was kind of cute. Just a little different, different fun, kind of little kid colors, but, you know, fun. Since I primarily wear all black, I like to wear my accessories in fun colors. So, sticking with the jewelry trend, I do have multiple piercings. I only have my right ear pierced twice, but I have multiple piercings on the left. So I did get some black. These are cubic zirconia. Normally this is a $20 set, but they had it on sale for $5, and it was actually one of the more expensive pieces that I got. So super good deal. There's 3 different sizes. These do actually have metal backs. They have the plastic on top, or they have the metal butterfly backs, which that is one thing when you go to places like Claire's that sell some of the more inexpensive costume jewelry. Do be aware when you buy stud jewelry, if you are somebody that does not like the plastic only backs, to check that out, because some of them only come with that plastic stopper back. I'm not a big fan of it because I don't trust they'll come with this little tiny plastic piece, and that's the only back you get, where these actually have the metal butterfly, but that's usually only on their cubic zirconias. So just be forewarned. Let's see, trying to stick with all earrings here. I did get one other set of earrings, and it is peanut butter and jelly. As I told my better half, when we go out, they'll be our going out earrings, because my other half is my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I'm peanut butter, and my darling spouse is the jelly. So just kind of funny. She's the inside joke, I know, but hey, we got to keep the romance alive, right? So that's all the earrings that I got. And then I got some hair accessories. I did get, these are all black. Not that that surprises anyone who knows me personally, but these are kind of a satiny material of basically smaller scrunchies. Obviously, my hair's not that long, so some of the bigger scrunchies don't work well for me. And I have really fine hair, so I need something that's not too big. And these actually, they're about this size. And these actually work really well for me. So we'll just pull my hair back really quick. They hold tight. Like I said, I'm on the phone and I have a desk job, so I'm not up running around. But if I'm not walking the dog, if we've gone to the dog park or something like that, these will stay in without slipping out. I do it 3 times around, but it just depends on how thick your hair is. The other thing I like about these, since they are the satiny silk with elastic inside, they can actually go in the washer. So if you're someone like me that's been out at the dog park like I was the other day, I had a scrunchie like this in, and I just threw it in with my clothes to wash it because my hair did get all hot and sweaty. So it's great because you can wash them and keep them fresh all the time. I got some of these little clips. There's 4 of them on here, and these have the jaws on them. I like these. The bigger ones tend to slide out of my hair. These, I did take them off the card when I was in the store and found out they are super tight, so they will hold. I do have to put a good chunk of my hair in there, but they will hold. They're not going to slide out, so that was one of the reasons that I got them. I also really like the colors. There's a dark blue, a purpley blue, an all purple, and then like a light tan, so they'll go with lots of different outfits, from my all black to when I actually wear something other than black. And then the last thing I got was this butterfly, and I will take it off the card to show you that it actually has some little beads hanging down off of it, and it's the clip as well. This one's actually metal, and then the wings are transparent with color that's like painted plastic for the wings, but they're really nicely done. You can actually see like the butterfly veins of the wings. It's a decent like dress up or work hair clip, I think, that you could wear with a lot of different outfits. The beads are the iridescent purpley they go from like purple to green to blue to black, so they would go with a lot of outfits. The wings themselves are like a dark purple, dark pink, but definitely something you could wear to a dressier event, dinner, or work, or something like that. So, like I said, I got all that for $20, which I was super happy about because everything was really expensive. One thing I will say that I was totally blown away with when I went in there was how much it is for ear piercing. When I went and got my ears pierced, I was 12, I think. Yeah, I think it was 12 that my mom agreed that I could get my ears pierced. I remember it being like less than $20 for the earrings, for the actual piercing, for the aftercare liquid. Yeah, and I mean, granted, $20 was a lot more, money than $20 is now, but I remember it being like a couple of nights worth of babysitting money for me. Now it's a minimum of $65, and I was totally blown away by that. I know the price of gold has something to do with that, but yeah, I was kind of blown away. So I don't know how to feel about that. I've gotten the rest of my ear piercings done either at Walmart or at a piercing studio that does tattoos. So it just kind of depends. I know Claire's does sell the good 14 karat and 24 karat gold which if you have any nuttal allergies whatsoever, using the gold is definitely good. And it's also good for just brand new ear piercings because you don't necessarily know what you're allergic to, and that will heal the best. But yeah, that was one thing that did blow me away. Um, I did get a coupon from them to come back. It's $10 off, $10 or more. It is specific dates. This one is 8/19 through 9/4. Um, and there are certain things that they don't allow you to get on those. I think some of the more expensive like prom jewelry that you can't get, but pretty much all their jewelry. They do have makeup there now. They do have nail polish. They have journals. They have little stuffed animals that are branded. So they kind of have a little bit of everything. But like I said, overall, I was super excited just to see Claire still in business and to be able to go in and get a nice bunch of earrings and hair accessories for pretty inexpensive. So thank you for joining me, and we will do another unboxing soon. Hi guys. Today we're going to read the story of Jonah. And if you're like me, this is probably a story you know from childhood if you had any experience growing up with biblical stories. In short, it's a story of um, Jonah disobeying God, and because of this, he gets swallowed up by a big fish or whale, depending on what version of the story you heard growing up. And he decides while he's in the whale for 3 days that he does need to obey. And so he finally gets free from the whale and he goes and does what God asked him to do. And that's kind of how the story ends. So let's talk about this a little bit more, and we'll do that as we go along. But the high points I got when I was kind of making my overview notes for this particular reading is that Jonah is asked to preach in this town or city of Nineveh because in God's eyes they're not following God, they're not doing as they're supposed to do. He refuses and he runs away and he goes in the totally opposite direction. So, and he decides that this is the appropriate behavior for him because he doesn't want to follow God. God's solution is he creates a huge storm, and Jonah finally has to admit to the other sailors and people on board that he is the reason that God has created this storm, and therefore they call him out. He says, you have to throw me overboard if you're going to survive. So they do, and then that's when he gets swallowed up by the big fish, and he has to kind of contemplate life and go on. He decides to obey after being in the fish, and then he goes and preaches. And because of this, God decides not to destroy the city. And then at the end of it, we not only see that Jonah is made peace again with his relationship with God because he did decide to obey him, and that God has proclaimed his concern even for people who are pagans, that he does love all of people because they are his creation, they are his children, even though they've chosen not to obey, not to follow him. So let's get into it.
The Book of Jonah. If we had to describe this book in one sentence, it would be about a reluctant prophet who is running from God and he is swallowed by a big fish. So, chapter 1. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amiel. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because their evil has come before me. Jonah got up to flee to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. He paid the fare and went down into it to go with them to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. But the Lord threw a great wind onto the sea, and such a great storm arose on the sea that the ship threatened to break apart. The sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his God. They threw the ship's cargo into the sea to lighten the load. Meanwhile, Jonah had gone down to the lowest part of the vessel and stretched out and fallen into a deep sleep. The captain approached him and said, "What are you doing, sound asleep? Get up, call to your God. Maybe this God will consider us and we won't perish."
So let's talk about the intro to this book, basically. So God comes down, asks Jonah to do something for him, his own bidding, his own request. And I would like to think that if I was given a request by God, I would do as he asked. Jonah does not. We're not really so much given the reason why. Maybe he's got stage fright. Maybe he doesn't like this particular place that God has asked him to go. Maybe he's afraid of being hurt. Who knows? But the case may be that he left. He disobeyed God and he left. And he got on a ship and he went in the totally opposite direction. And as we know, God knows everything, God knows what's going on. So his solution is to create a huge storm. And there's people on this boat who believe in all kinds of different faiths and gods. And they're praying and they're trying to do anything they can do to save the ship. The captain goes down. He's like, hey, why don't you reach out to your God and see if your God is going to save us? And at this point, Jonah's kind of in a bad way because he's obviously not in the world's greatest favor of God. So there's a lot going on here, but the short version is the point of this story is that Jonah was given a direct order, a direct direction from God to take, and he disobeys it. So it's just like when you disobey your parents or you disobey your boss or you disobey your teacher, nothing good can come from that. And that's what the rest of the story is about.
Come on, the sailors said to each other. Let's cast lots. Then we'll know who is to blame for the trouble they're in. So they cast lots, and the lot singled out Jonah. They said to him, tell us who is to blame for this trouble we're in. What is your business, and where are you going from? What is your country, and what are the people you are from? He answered them, I'm a Hebrew. I worship the Lord God of the heavens, who made the sea and the dry land. Then the men were seized by a great fear and said to him, what have you done? The men knew he was fleeing from the Lord's presence because he told them. So they told him, what should we do to you so that the sea will calm down for us? For the sea was getting worse and worse. He answered them, pick me up and throw me into the sea so that it will calm down for you, for I know I am to blame for this great storm that is against you. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to get back to dry land, but they couldn't because the sea was raging against them more and more. So they called out to the Lord, please, Lord, don't let us perish because of this man's life. Don't charge us with innocent blood. For you, Lord, have done just as you pleased. Then they picked Jonah up and threw him into the sea, and the sea stopped raging. The men were seized by a great fear of the Lord, and they offered sacrifice to the Lord and made vows.
So Jonah has to confess. The men have all kind of said what their business is, and they realize that Jonah is the only person that they don't know what he's up to, and so he has to confess to them. He's put them all in a really bad spot. They're in peril. They all may perish. This boat's going to get torn apart by the storm. So he realizes it's now or never. He has to confess, and once he does so, he tells them that not only is he a Hebrew, but that he worships the Lord God and the Lord God that created the heavens and the earth. And these men all worship different gods, different pagan gods, different gods from all over that people have decided to give their lives to and devote to. And they tell him, you've got to do something. You've got to have your God fix this because you caused this. You ran away from him. So he says the only thing that you can do is throw me in the ocean, and that's what they do. And when they do, the seas stop. They calm down, and this is like this is unbelievable to these men that he was telling the truth, that Jonah was really and truly telling the truth about this God, and this God is that powerful. So at that point, they all decide, hey, we're vowing to follow this God because he does really and truly control everything and know everything, and how can we not, because he just saved our lives. So not only did Jonah realize what he had done was wrong and finally realize he has to make right of a bad situation that he put everyone in. But by doing so, he also got people to follow God, which is pretty amazing because he didn't realize it, but in his own way, he was kind of someone who was basically converting people, which is pretty amazing because that's something that we're all called to do as Christians, is to reach out to those who don't believe and tell them about how amazing and wonderful God is. And by example of being tossed in the sea and punished for his own behavior, and not that we want to tell people that God punishes, because the God that we know, the God that we love and trust and pray to, is not a God that punishes anymore. God made us that promise that he's not going to do that anymore. Our God loves us, And while we may have to pay a price for bad decisions that we make, it's not because God is punishing us. God forgives us when we ask to be forgiven. But, like I said, Jonah made believers out of people who weren't believers, and that's pretty awesome.
The Lord appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to the Lord God from the belly of the fish. I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. I cried out for help from deep inside Sheol. You heard my voice when you threw me into the depths, into the heart of the seas. The current overcame me, all your breakers and billows and swept over me. And I said, I have been banished from your sight. Yet I will look once more towards your holy temple. The water engulfed me up to my neck. The watery depths overcame me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. I sank to the foundations of the mountains. The earth's gates shut behind me forever. Then you raised my life from the pit, Lord my God. As my life was fading away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you, to your holy temple. Those who cherish worthless idols abandon their faithful love. But as for me, I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. I will fulfill what I have vowed. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Then the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land.
So, this is a story that we all pretty much know if you know the story of Jonah from any point in your childhood or Christian journey. The fish comes up and swallows Jonah. And in the Bible, it's just a simple one line that God commanded a fish to come up and swallow this man. I kind of want more of this story, but there's a great number of people who have taken this particular piece of this book in the Bible and have made it into all kinds of things. There's a movie now. There's several cartoon versions of it. There's drawings. There's paintings. There's people that have talked about it and made it into a really great part of the story. But the point is that God commanded a fish to swallow Jonah. And some people say it's a fish, some people say it's a whale. Okay. But some kind of underwater creature has swallowed Jonah, and Jonah is now stuck inside the belly of the fish. And I honestly can't imagine a more horrible environment to be in. First, you almost drown. The boat that you were on has almost come apart, and you know if you're going to drown, even if he could swim, obviously they were far enough away from land that survival was probably not going to happen. Then he has them throw him, the sailors in the boat, throw him into the ocean because he knows it's the only way for the storm to stop. And after he does that, um, he's bobbing around in the ocean, and this fish comes up and just swallows him. And if you've ever been around any kind of ocean or sea creature, they have a pretty intense smell of the ocean, and if they're a fish, they smell like fish. So I cannot imagine being inside a fish with their food digesting and being a fish and in there for 3 days. So he's in there with no food or water of his own, not knowing if he's going to die or not. And it's at this point Jonah contemplates his life and his life's choices and how he wound up in the situation that he's in. And when he realizes that the only way that he will survive this is repentance and prayer, and that is exactly what he does. And he tells God, I'm sorry for what I've done. I have separated myself from you, and I no longer want to do that. I realize how important you are in my life and how much I need you in my life, not just for this one instance where you're going to save my life, but that you're going to save me for the rest of my life, and that it is my responsibility to do what you have asked me to do. And at that point, when he finishes his prayer and he has truly repented to God and he is committed to doing what God originally asked him to do, then God has the fish vomit him out onto dry land and his life is saved. And our story continues.
The word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, and preach the message that I tell you. Jonah got up and went to Nineveh according to the Lord's command. Now Nineveh was an extremely great city, a 3-day walk. Jonah set out on the first day of his walk in the city and proclaimed, In 40 days Nineveh will be demolished. Then the people of Nineveh believed God. They proclaimed a fast and dressed in sackcloth, from the greatest of them to the least.
So Jonah goes and does what God has asked him to do the second time. He goes to the city of Nineveh and speaks to the people and tells them they must repent from their evil ways, from them worshiping other gods or not worshiping any god, just being atheists or just non believers of a God, and tells them that if they do not repent from their evil ways and ask God for forgiveness and prove to God that they want to be His children, that they want to love and serve Him as their one and only true God, then God will destroy their city because they have gone so far from what God has told people in terms of their behavior and expectations that God sees this city as a lost cause and He will destroy it. And on his very first day of walking through the city, he makes this proclamation, and the word travels really quick. And people realize that here, this stranger is not telling a lie. That this is someone who is coming, and he's told them this is really going to happen, and they believe him. And the word travels very quickly, and it gets all the way to the king. And the king makes a proclamation that people will not eat or drink, their animals will not eat or drink, and everyone will get rid of their clothes and put themselves in sackcloth and do nothing but pray and repent for their behavior and pray that God will recognize that they have decided as a city, as a group of people, that not only are they sorry for what they have done, but that they will commit themselves to Him. And God sees their behavior, sees their true desire to change, and that everyone complies with what both Jonah had told them and what the king had decreed after hearing Jonah's warning. And after 3 days, then God decides not to destroy the city, and that everyone is going to be saved as long as they follow what God has asked people to do. And these people are committed to doing so, and so the city is saved. And God decides that He will not destroy this city, and that these people will be given a very exciting second chance to continue to live the way they should and to worship the one and only true God.
When word reached the king of Nivea, he got up from his throne, took off his royal robe, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. Then he issued a decree in Nivea: by order of the king and his nobles, no person or animal, herd or flock is to taste anything at all. They must not eat or drink water. Furthermore, both people and animals must be covered with sackcloth, and everyone must call out earnestly to God. Each must turn from his evil ways and from his wrongdoing. Who knows? God may turn and relent. He may turn from his burning anger so that we will not perish. God saw their actions. They had turned from their evil ways, so God relented from the disaster he had threatened them with, and he did not do it. Jonah's anger. Jonah was greatly displeased and became furious. He prayed to the Lord, please, Lord, isn't this what I said while I was still in my own country? That's why I fled towards Tarshish in the first place. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger, abounding in faithful love, and one who relents from sending disaster. And now, Lord, take my life from me, for it is better to die than to live. The Lord asked, is it right for you to be angry? Jonah left the city and found a place east of it. He made himself a shelter and sat there in the shade to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord God appointed a plant, and it grew over Jonah to provide shade for his head to rescue him from his trouble. Jonah was greatly pleased with the plant. When dawn came the next day, God appointed a worm that attacked the plant, and it withered. As the sun was rising, God appointed a scorching east wind. The sun beat down on Jonah's head so much that he almost fainted, and he wanted to die. He said, it is better for me to die than to live. Then God asked Jonah, is it right for you to be angry about the plant? Yes, it's right, he replied. I'm angry enough to die. And the Lord said, you cared about the plant, which you did not labor over it and did not grow. It appeared in the night and perished in the night. So may I not care about the great city of Nineveh, which has more than 100,000 people who cannot distinguish between their right and their left, as well as many animals?
So this is where the story kind of takes a unique turn because we think that Jonah has learned his lesson. And we think that Jonah is done, in a way, arguing with God. But Jonah is human like the rest of us. And we learn our lessons, but we make mistakes. And Jonah, like so many of us, myself definitely included, struggle with anger. And he feels frustrated because he thought that his preaching was going to have a bigger impact. He thought that he was going to go preach to these people and God was still going to make an example out of this city and destroy it. And he didn't. And Jonah's angry because he feels like, I left my home, I did what you said. I suffered. I lived in that fish for 3 days. It was horrible. And you still forgave these people. And this is how you are. You're a compassionate and forgiving God. You weren't going to destroy the city. You shouldn't have sent me. And so he stomps off mad. And he decides to go pout, basically. um, and so he goes and builds a shelter and he sits. And then this plant comes. And this plant provides them with cool shade and keeps them kind of content and happy, and he kind of is peaceful for a while. And then God asks him, basically, are you still mad? And then, Jonah is happy, and God sees this, so then God destroys the plant overnight. And Jonah wakes up and the plant's gone, and of course it's really hot the next day, and then God sends this wind that makes it even more miserable, and Jonah tells him he wants to die. And God says, are you angry at the plant? And he says, yes, I'm so angry I want to die. And God says, no, you're not angry at the plant. You're really angry at me. And why should you be angry at me? I sent you to give these people a second chance and they repented. And that was more than enough of an example, basically, is what God's saying. You don't need to understand my ways. You did what I asked and you saved these people because you helped give them a chance. You helped explain to them what they needed to be explained and they listened. And therefore, I was a compassionate God and I let them live. It's not that I was going to blow up the city if they decided to repent. They repented. That's what I wanted. I wanted the people to come back to me, back to their father. And that's when Jonah kind of has a, oh, yeah, sorry about that moment. And we don't really get that piece of it. The story doesn't say that but that's the point that we as the reader are supposed to understand, is that we don't know God's plan. Okay, we get shown pieces of it. Pieces of it are revealed to us, and we kind of have those aha moments, like, oh, that's why I didn't get that job, or that's why I had to move all of a sudden, or that's why that friend is no longer in my life, or that's why the person that I thought was a true love of my life, I'm glad I didn't marry them because they're not the person I originally thought they were. And at the time when those things happen, that we don't get the job we want, or we have to move all of a sudden, or we break up with someone, we can get really angry with God. You're not listening to my prayers. You don't understand. I really needed that job, or I really wanted to marry this person. But we don't see everything that God sees. We don't know everything that God knows. And we can't. We're human and He's God. And that's what this story's ultimate lesson is. The second lesson. The first lesson is, when God tells you to do something, you do it. And it's a struggle all the time. The Ten Commandments are a struggle. We know we're not supposed to kill people. We know we're not supposed to covet our neighbor's wife or our neighbor's things more than ourselves or our own spouses or our own things. We know we're not supposed to be gluttonous, and we know we're not supposed to disobey our parents. We know all these things, but a lot of times we do them anyway. People cheat on their spouses. People disrespect their parents. People disrespect themselves and their spouses. It happens. And when we disobey God, we hurt ourselves and God. So we have to repent. And that's part of the reason why God sent Jesus, is to give us a way to be forgiven for our sins. Okay? And so what we're seeing here in the Old Testament is a setup for further repentance later in the New Testament. But God is still telling us that we have to repent for our sins back in the Old Testament. That's the first lesson of the story. And the second lesson of the story is that we can't be angry at God for things that we don't understand. And when we become angry at God, because we are human and we are emotional, then we need to stop and we need to think about that anger and we need to apologize and we need to pray for God's understanding for us being human and having that bad emotion. And then we need to ask God not only for forgiveness, but for understanding for our ways. Because God knows we do get angry. And God's gotten angry. He got angry at Jonah. He threw him in the fish. He got angry at the whole world, and we had the flood with Noah. But God's anger is different than our anger. And when we're angry at God because of something happened or didn't happen and we don't understand it, someone dies and we don't understand why, or someone is hurt and we don't understand why, or we don't get whatever it is that we're praying about, it's natural to want to get angry. I do it all the time. But the point is, and this is what he's trying to teach Jonah and all of us with this, is once you're done being angry, if you do get angry, ultimately we'd like to not get angry, but more than likely it's going to happen. Then stop and think about it and pray about it and ask God to forgive you. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. Reading it as an adult and reading it with a lot of thought has made this not only a really great story for me because there's a lot of action in it, but a really thought provoking and pretty significant life lesson.
Hello again, friends. Tonight we are going to read Song of Songs again, and this time we'll go through it a little slower with some notes. So, Song of Songs is considered a very beautiful and very honest love story. So, there's a lot of things that can be said about this text, depending on whose point of view that you take. Some people see a lot of sexual innuendos, etc., in here, and it's a love story. It's a love story between a couple that gets married, a couple that is going to be in love and engage in sexual activity. So, yes, there is sex in it, but it's not meant to be a text about sex. It's meant to be a text about the beauty and the gift that God has given human beings as love. So, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Woman, oh, that he would kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your caresses are more delightful than wine. The fragrance of your perfume is intoxicating. Your name is perfume poured out. No wonder young women adore you. Take me with you. Let's hurry. Oh, that king that would bring me to his chambers. Young women, we will rejoice and be glad in you. We will celebrate your caresses more than wine. Woman, it is only right that they adore you. Daughters of Jerusalem, I am dark like the tents of Kedar, yet lovely like the curtains of Solomon. Do not stare at me because I am dark, for the sun has gazed on me. My mother's sons were angry with me. They made me take care of the vineyards. I have not taken care of my own vineyard. And what this is saying is that appearance isn't what matters ultimately between this man and the woman. What matters is that she is of moral character, he is of moral character. They're both pure, and that means purity not only in a sexual nature, but purity in terms of their character. They're not people that have been jaded by society's expectations of them. They treat themselves with respect, they treat others with respect, and they live in a godly manner. Tell me, whom do I love? Where do you pasture your sheep? Where do you let them rest at noon? Why should I be like one who veils herself beside the flocks of your companions? And the veil is, in this case, symbolizing prostitution. She's saying she's not a prostitute, she's a pure woman. Man, I do not know, if you do not know, most beautiful of women, follow the tracks of the flock and pasture your young goats near the shepherd's tent. I compare you, my darling, to a mare among the Pharaoh's chariots. Your cheeks are beautiful with jewelry, your neck with its necklace. We will make gold jewelry for you, accented with silver. So he's recognizing that she's both pure, but she's also important for who she is. Woman, while the king is on his couch, my perfume releases its fragrance. The one I love is a sachet of myrrh to me, spending the night between my breasts. The one I love is a cluster of henna blossoms to me in the vineyards of Engedi. Man, how beautiful you are, my darling, how very beautiful. Your eyes are like doves. Woman, how handsome you are, my love, how delightful. Our bed is verdant, the beams of our house are cedars, and our rafters are cypresses. I am a wildflower of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. Man, like a lily among thorns, so is my darling among the young women. So he's saying she's one in, we would say now, 1 in a million. She's someone that's so unique and so pure in what is basically the common people. Not that she's a queen or someone above people in terms of status, but she is in the fact that she's pure and respects herself. Woman, like an apricot tree among the trees of the forest, so is my love among the young men. I delight to sit in his shade, and his fruit is sweet to my taste. So you would think in a forest, an apricot tree isn't something that would be normally found. So he, like her, is something unique, something different, and something pure amongst everything else. He brought me to the banquet hall, and he looked at me with love. So he is like everything to her, and he's bringing her and showing her off. Sustain me with raisins, refresh me with apricots, for I am lovesick. May his left hand be under my head, and his right arm embrace me. Young women of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and the wild does of the field. Do not stir up or awaken love until the appropriate time. So what she's saying is, we're all in love with the idea of being in love, but you don't want to rush it, you don't want to hurry it, you don't want to fall in love with the wrong person, and you definitely don't want to regret making yourself unpure before the right time. Listen, my love is approaching. Look, here he comes, leaping over the mountains, bounding over the hills. My love is like a gazelle or a young stag. So she's saying he's strong and he's wild and he's virile, but he's also independent from the rest of society, that he's not taken the road that everyone else has taken. See, he is standing beyond our wall, gazing through the windows, peering through the lattice. My love calls to me. Man, arise, my darling, come away, my beautiful one. For now the winter has passed, the rain has ended and gone away. The blossoms appear in the countryside, the time of singing has come, and the turtle dove's cooing is heard in our land. The fig tree ripens its figs, the blossoming vines give off their fragrance. Arise, my darling, come away, my beautiful one. My dove is in the cleft of rocks, in the crevice of the cliff. Let me see your face, let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet and your face is lovely. So here he's talking about how winter has gone away and it's spring, and this is the time when so many people associate with love and renewance. And then a dove is a symbol of peace and purity. So he's recognizing her in that way. Woman, catch the foxes for us, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, for our vineyards are in bloom. My love is mine and I am his. He feeds among the lilies until day breaks and the shadows flee. Turn around, my love, and be like a gazelle or a young stag on the divided mountains. So what the women are saying is, catch those who ruin the vineyards, those who make it impure. They're recognizing that their love is just between the two of them. In my bed at night, I sought the one I loved. I sought, but I did not find him. So she's saying, I called for him and he did not respond. I will arise now and go about the city, through the streets and the plazas. I will seek the one I love. I sought him, but I did not find him. The guards who go about the city found me, and I asked them, have you seen the one I love? I have just passed them when I found the one I love. I held on to him and would not let him go until I brought him to my mother's house. So she's asking her mother for approval for this particular young man. To the chamber of the one who conceived me. So She's recognizing the importance of her mother and needs her mother's approval. Young women of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and the wild does of the field. Do not stir up or awaken love until the appropriate time. So again, she's emphasizing the need not to rush love, but to wait for the right time. Narrator, who is this coming out from the wilderness, like columns of smoke scented with myrrh and frankincense, from every fragrant powder merchant? Look, Solomon's bed, surrounded by 60 warriors from the mighty men of Israel. All of them are skilled with swords and trained in warfare. Each has a sword at his side to guard against terror in the night. So, not only is he strong, but he has a whole army to protect her and their love. King Solomon made a carriage for himself. With wood from Lebanon, he made its posts of silver, its back of gold, and its seat of purple. Its interior is inlaid with love. By the young women of Jerusalem, go out, young women of Zion, and gaze at King Solomon, wearing the crown his mother placed on him on the day of his wedding, the day of his heart's rejoicing. So here again we see the emphasis of family, not only in their love, but in their marriage. Man, how beautiful you are, my darling, how very beautiful behind your veil. Your eyes are like doves, your hair is like a flock of goats streaming down Mount Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of newly shorn sheep coming up from washing, each one bearing twins, and none has lost its young. So this reference of sheep, sheep were something of great value, and sometimes sheep tend to, if they have twins, they don't always both make it. So here he's saying none has lost its young, so no one is sorrowful on this occasion. Your lips are like a scarlet cord, and your mouth is lovely behind your veil. Your brow is like a slice of pomegranate. Your neck is like the Tower of David, constructed in layers. So she's strong and beautiful. Your breasts are like two fawns, twins of the gazelle that feed among the lilies, until the day breaks and the shadows flee. I will make my way to the mountain of myrrh and the hill of frankincense. You are absolutely beautiful, my darling. There is no imperfection with you. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon, which actually you're talking about frankincense and not necessarily the place. Descended from the peak of Amana, from the summit of Senir and Hermon, from the dens of the lions, from the mountains of leopards. You have captured my heart, my sister, my bride. You have captured my heart with one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace. How delightful your caresses are, my sister, my bride. Your caresses are much better than wine, and the fragrance of your perfume than any balsam. Your lips drip sweetness like the honeycomb, my bride. Honey and milk are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments is like the fragrance of Lebanon. My sister, my bride, you are a locked garden and a sealed spring. So she's just for him. She saved her purity in terms of, in this case, her sexuality, just for him. Your branches are a paradise of pomegranates with the choicest fruits, henna with nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all the trees of frankincense, myrrh, and aloes, with the best spices. You are a garden a well of flowing water streaming from Lebanon. Woman, awaken north wind, come south wind, blow on my garden and spread the fragrance of its spices. Let my love come to his garden and eat its choicest fruit. Man, I have come to my garden, my sister, my bride. I gather my myrrh with my spices. I eat my honeycomb with my honey. I drink my wine with my milk. Narrator, eat, friends. Drink, be intoxicated with caresses. So he's telling them, drink your fill. As lovers, drink your fill of each other. Woman, I was sleeping, but my heart was awake. A sound, my love was knocking. Man, open, my sister, my darling, my dove, my perfect one. For my head is drenched with dew, my hair with droplets of the night. And this scene is likened to a dream, but it's her dreaming of him. Woman, I have taken off my clothing. How can I put it back on? I have washed my feet. How can I get them dirty? So she's saying that he came to her, but she is being modest. She doesn't want to come to him in an undressed state, and she doesn't want to come to him dirty. She's already cleaned herself for the evening. My love thrust his hand through the opening, and my feelings were stirred for him. I rose to open for my love. My hands dripped with myrrh. My fingers were flowing myrrh on the handles of the bowl. I opened to my love, but my love had turned and gone away. So he leaves. She is too modest to be in a hurry for him. My heart sank because he had left. I sought him, but I did not find him. I called him, but he did not answer. The guards who go about the city found me. They beat me and wounded me. They took my cloak from me. The guardians of the wall. Young women of Jerusalem, I charge, if you find my love, tell him that I have lovesick. And she's saying here that she's married only for love, not for anything else, but for love itself. Young women, what makes the one you love better than another? Most beautiful of women, what makes him better than another that you would give us this charge? Woman, my love is fit and strong, notable among 10,000. His head is pure as gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven. So she's saying he is pure. He's both perfect inside and out in this description. His eyes are like doves beside flowing streams, washed in milk and set like jewels. His cheeks are like a bed of spices, mounds of perfume. His lips are lily, dripping with flowing myrrh. His arms are rods of gold and set with beryl. His body is an ivory panel covered with lapis lazuli. His legs are alabaster pillars set on pedestals of pure gold. His presence is like Lebanon, as majestic as the cedars. His mouth is sweetness. He is absolutely desirable. This is my love, and this is my friend, young women of Jerusalem. Young women, where has your love gone, most beautiful of women? Which way has he turned? We will seek him with you. Woman, my love has gone down to his garden, to bed of spice, to feed in the gardens and gather lilies. I am my love, and my love is mine, and my love is mine. He feeds among the lilies. Man, you are beautiful as Taraz, my darling, lovely as Jerusalem, awe-inspiring as an army with banners. Turn your eyes away from me, for they captivate me. Your hair is like a flock of goats streaming down from Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of ewes coming up from a watching, each having a twin and not one missing. Beyond your veil, your brow is like a slice of pomegranate. There are 60 queens and 80 concubines, and young women without number. But my dove, my virtuous one, is unique. She is the favorite of her mother, perfect to her, the one who gave her birth. Women see her and declare her fortunate, queens and concubines also, as they sing her praises. So she is pure as the day she was born, and people praise her purity, that she has saved herself only for the one that she loves. Who is this who shines like the dawn, as beautiful as the moon, bright as the sun, awe-inspiring as an army with banners? Woman, I came down to the walnut grove to see the blossoms of the valley, to see if the vines were budding and the pomegranates blooming. I didn't know what was happening to me. I felt like I was in a chariot with a nobleman. Young women, come back, Shulamite, or perfect one. Come back, then we may look at you. Man, how you gaze at the Shulamite as you look at the dance of the two camps. How beautiful are your sandaled feet, princess. The curve of your thighs are like jewelry, the handiwork of a master. So she is perfect in her beauty. Your navel is a rounded bowl. It never lacks mixed wine. Your belly is like a mound of wheat surrounded by lilies. Your breasts are two fawns, twins of a gazelle. Your neck is a tower of ivory. Your eyes like the pools of Heshbon by Beth Rabban's gate. Your nose is like the Tower of Lebanon, looking toward Damascus. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel, the hair of your head like purple cloth. A king could be held captive in your tresses. How beautiful you are, and how pleasant, my love, with such delights. Your stature is like a palm tree. Your breasts are clusters of fruit. I said, I will climb this palm tree and take hold of its fruit. May your breasts be like a cluster of grapes, and the fragrance of your breath like apricots. Your mouth is like fine wine. Woman, flowing smoothly for my love, gliding past my lips and teeth. I am my love, and his desires for me. So not only do they have pure love, but they express it with pure kisses. Come, my love, let's go to the field to spend the night among the henna blossoms. Let's go early to the vineyards to see if the vine has budded, if the blossoms open, if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my caresses. The mandrakes give off a fragrance, and at our doors every delicacy, both old and new. I have treasured them up for you. So in this, they're talking about making love, but only when it's time, when it's in the season to do so. I have, if only I could treat you like my brother, one who nursed at my mother's breast, I would find you in public and kiss you, and no one would scorn me. So they're talking about the fact that they want to touch each other, caress each other, and because they are lovers, not family, their touching and their kissing brings about negative looks. I would lead you, I would take you to the house of my mother who taught me. I would give you spiced wine to drink from the juice of my pomegranate. May his left hand be under my head, and his right arm embrace me. Young women of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not stir up or awaken love until the appropriate time. Young women, who is this coming out from the wilderness, leaning on the one she loves? Woman, I awakened you under the apricot tree. There your mother conceived you. There she conceived you and gave you birth. Set on me a seal on your heart as a seal on your arm. For love is strong as death. So she's saying love goes beyond death itself. Jealousy is as unrelenting as Sheol. Love's flames are fiery flames, an almighty flame. A huge torrent cannot extinguish love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. So they're saying love is God, and his fire, his passion is his gift to us. If a man was to give all his wealth for love, it would be utterly scorned. So you cannot buy love. It is something that cannot be bought or sold. It is something that has to be given freely from one person to another. Brothers, our sister is young. She has no breasts. What will we do for our sister on the day she is spoken for? If she is a wall, we will build a citadel or barricade on her. If she is a door, we will enclose her with cedar planks. So this is talking about protecting your purity until marriage to the right person. And a family was supposed to help do this. Brothers and fathers were supposed to protect their young sisters and daughters. Woman, I am a wall, my breasts are like towers, so to him I have become like one who finds peace. So she is now the one who will bring peace to her lover. She is going to be his sanctuary of peace. Solomon owned a vineyard in Bahal Holman. He leased the vineyard to tenants. Each was to bring for his fruit 1,000 pieces of silver. I have my own vineyard. The 1,000 are for you, Solomon, but 200 for those who take care of his fruits. So she saved herself and focused on God, and she's giving her love only to her forever lover. She will take care of herself for her love and not worry about other people. Man, you who dwell in the garden, companions are listening for your voice. Let me hear you. Woman, run away with me, my love. Be like a gazelle or a young stag on the mountain of spices. So that is the Song of Solomon. I hope you enjoyed today's reading, and we'll do it again soon.
Hi everyone, we are back for another unboxing video, and today we are looking at another round of Ulta purchases. So here's a bag I got. I went back because I was super happy with the experience that I had and the freebies that I got, and there was a couple of things I wanted to purchase. So let's get right to it. I did go to a different store this time, but I was again very impressed with the staff and how I was treated, and the fact that I didn't have any hassles about any of the freebies. Everything that I wanted was in stock. The store was very clean. For those of you who live in or around St. Louis, Missouri, this is the one that is out in West County. So it's, see if I can get you the exact name, it's the Manchester one. So off Manchester Road. It was a pretty busy store. We went mid-afternoon, but they definitely had plenty of staff. Like I said, the store was immaculately clean. They have gone back to doing testers in the store, which they didn't do during COVID, so that was nice too. So again, another really good experience at Ulta. I do want to mention this is not a sponsored video. This is just me doing this. So Last time I got a couple of the Positive Vibes products from Essence, and I was super impressed with how awesome they were. So, and I will do a video after this one with all of those products on, so you can see what they look like on, and we'll kind of look at how well they turned out. Like I said, I was super impressed with how well they did. So I went back. I got their lip mask. It is just your basic put on at night or when you're not wearing makeup during the day to kind of recover your lips. If you're like me and you're somebody that you lick your lips a lot, or you wear really harsh products, like a lot of the matte lipsticks are hard on your lips, they really dry them out. So this is a good product. It goes on just like a lip balm. It actually comes out this kind of fun little green, but we'll just dab a little on. Usually just put it on my bottom lip and then kind of fill in on the top. It has a really nice, I want to say kind of tropical coconut scent and a little bit of taste. It doesn't taste gross. Some lip masks, if you happen to get a little taste of it, taste really nasty, which is a big turnoff for me with a product. I don't like anything that smells chemical or doesn't smell natural. So definitely something to think about when you're purchasing products like this. So next product I got is their Positive Vibes eyeshadow palette. Like I said, I was super impressed with what this brand had to offer. And I was just overall very impressed with the colors and everything that it offered. So here's what the colors look like. Pretty fun and different. Just kind of something I wouldn't necessarily wear it every day, but definitely something that I would wear a lot of. They don't give you the names of the colors like some of the brands do. Yeah, it does say it's a good day to have a good day inside on this side, but they do not give you the names of the colors. So you've got a sparkle green down here. A sparkle green. This is almost like a army dark green. You've got a light olive green, and then you've got a gold and white mix. This is a checkered, two colors of light and dark green, and then kind of a mermaid bluish green glitter. So these would definitely be something I would wear with an eye primer, like the freebie we got last time from Ulta. That would be a good choice since these have a lot of glitter in them. If you want them to last all day and not flake off, definitely want to wear an eye primer with something like this. It has a lot of glitter. But let me swatch a couple of these. We'll do the checkered one. You can kind of see it's a good color. It's very solid throughout. It doesn't flake off. I'm really impressed with how well it blended. You can kind of see what it did where I swatched with my finger. And then we'll swatch. Let's do the gold and white mix right next to it. You can see that's got some shimmer to it. Definitely something I would wear as kind of a top piece. Not all of the time, but fun little colors, nice something to play around with. So, like I said, I wanted to kind of finish out that collection because I was super impressed with what they offered with it. Next thing that I have is I got this collection called It's the Orchard. I'm sorry, At the Orchard. And this is all Ulta products. This was $20. It comes with an eyeshadow pan that has 6 eyeshadows, a lip lacquer, a lip liner, and a cream highlighter. And all of these are supposed to smell like apple glaze. I did smell them in the store, and I was actually impressed. They do smell like apples and not fake chemical apples. So nicely packaged. Most of Ulta's kits are usually pretty nicely packaged. So we'll start with the pencil. This is a lip pencil in, let's see if they give you the color, Juicy Apple. So it's a nice red. It's a good dark red. Be a nice color to wear if you were wearing red lipstick or if you were wearing a lighter lipstick and wanted that lip liner around it, or even if you're just wearing like a clear or a pinkish gloss, this would be great for that too. So definitely think it's a good lip liner. It does smell like apple, like the products are supposed to. It's a twist up, so you don't have to sharpen it. It's a crayon texture, so if you're used to using just straight pencil, this is something you might want to practice with a little bit before you wear it for a day out. Next is their lip lacquer. I really like this product only because it is pretty forgiving for people like me who aren't super experienced in makeup. It has a nice rabbit foot applicator. Definitely has a nice juicy apple smell. It goes on super easy. I'm not going to put it on because I put the lip mask on, but I will swatch it for you. It's a darker red, but it's going to blend out. You can kind of adjust how much you have the color based upon how much you put on, obviously, and how long it's been on. This particular color is called Mullet Over. I will say the only downside to these lip lacquers is they don't last through any kind of eating or drinking activity. So they are going to come off on your glass, they're going to come off on your straw, and you will have to reapply it after you have something to eat or drink. Not a huge deal, but just forewarning. Okay, next we'll do the highlighter. This is the highlighter. It's a cream highlighter. They don't have a color for, oh, they have glazed donut is what it's called. So this is what it looks like. If you have only used powder highlighter, this is a new experience. This is something that I'm still kind of learning a little bit. Less is more. I will definitely tell you that less is more, and just be conscious of how much you're putting on. I would say almost try it with your fingers, and then go from there. So we'll swatch it with hands since we have a lot. It's just going to give you a little bit of shimmer, but as far as your cheeks go, you can be brave if you are experienced with this and kind of dab it on how you like. But if you are new to this kind of highlighter, definitely good fingers or light brush application and then blend, blend, blend. It is really super easy to blend because it is really creamy, and it will mix well with other products such as the blush, bronzer, things like that. It's really easy to blend into other products, and it is forgiving for that reason. So if, for example, you've got a little too much on, you could definitely kind of have some forgiveness and get that blended in and not have it be such a bright, shiny area on your face. And then last but not least from this collection is the eyeshadow palette. It looks like this. And there are 6 colors in here. They're definitely in the berry family. And this too smells like apple. The little white color up here, let's see. The lightest color is I Pick You. So that's going to be your light tan, like a base color. You got a shimmer one of gold called Apple of My Eye. And then you got a pink that is called Falling for You. Again, this is a non-shimmer, so more like a base color. Then you have a really glittery, hardcore fun, kind of reddish glitter. There's a dark plum called Fine Apple. And then there is Insider Information, which is like a dark brown. So again, this is something you would want to wear some type of eyeshadow primer with because there's a lot of glitter colors in here, but they are super blendable. I kind of played with this tester when I was there, but let me swatch some of the glitter colors for you. So we'll do the Apple of My Eye. So that's right here. It's definitely a glitter. And then we'll do the Hardcore Fun on my arm so you can see it. Okay, swatch it back. So that's going to be this reddish color. It's a lighter color, so you will need to build it up a little bit. But I think definitely a good collection. The only downside to some of these collections that Ulta puts out is most of the time they do not carry the individual colors anywhere outside of the set. So if you become super attached to one of them, the only suggestion I could have is maybe sometimes they do put the colors online or to catch the sets when they like go on clearance and you could grab a few of them. That's the only downside to the Ulta sets is I guess there's not colors that they keep on stock all the time. There was a freebie with the $20 Ulta purchase. You had to spend $19.50 to get it. I think this is the exact same freebie as what I got the other day, but we'll take a look at it in case you missed that. But this is a nice dark blue bag. Again, it's a little bit puffy, and you get the nice back to school kit inside. So we'll go through that. I will say one thing Ulta is extra good at in terms of their online service is any freebies, giveaways, anything like that that they have in store, they also have online with an additional online only, some things that they have strictly online. They may have colors or gift sets online that they don't necessarily have in the stores. So this pretty much looks like what we got the other day, but we will go through it really quick, starting with the Poreless Face Primer. Again, this is a product that I have used. I am very familiar with it. If you're someone that has large pores like on your nose or on your forehead or any kind of acne scarring, this is great for that. It will fill that in. It doesn't leave your skin sticky. You can definitely pretty quickly put makeup over. I would say let it sit for a good minute or two before you put makeup on, but it's not like you gotta wait for it to dry or anything like that. So really good product. Here is their matte eye primer. They do carry this in a couple of different colors, but this is what I was talking about with the glitter eyeshadow. It's a great product to have in terms of being able to use glitter eyeshadow and have it last all day. And it's also good for some of your lighter color of eyeshadow. It gives it kind of a base that's going to be a neutral from your skin color, whatever skin tone you have. Using these kind of gives a neutral base to let some of those, especially really light tans and pinks, show up really well. So that's a really great freebie product. They gave you this great travel size brush for eyeshadow, which is a pretty good solid standard brush. And then they gave this pink palette of eyeshadow. And it's got some face products in it as well. So you've got this Secret Admirer that you can use as either a highlighter or a little bit of bronzer, depending on how you use it. I would probably not use it as bronzer, but more of a highlighter. They have this Yours Truly, which is definitely a shimmery highlighter. It'd be kind of cool to blend the two together. And then they've definitely got some glitter products in here. So their colors, the light tan is Soiree, then they've got a pink that's Tea Time, a sparkly pink Enchanted, kind of a dark blue Romantic, and then a solid blue Everlasting, it's kind of a tannish blue, and then Charming, which is a dark purple. So all in all, a really good set. Definitely fall colors, definitely great for using for back to school, whether you're a teacher or a student. So good value right there. Full-size beauty blender, super awesome. Full-size mascara. This is their Ultimate Lashes Multitasking Mascara. So this does have a little bit of curl to it. It's in black, which is kind of neutral. This is jet black. So if you're somebody that has super light eyelashes and eyebrows, it may not work great for you, but for most people this would work definitely as an everyday mascara. Then they have two lipsticks. They have the Velvet Matte lipstick. This is a really nice neutral color, one that you could use by itself, or if you wanted it to have typical lip gloss shimmer, you could use a clear gloss over it or a sparkle gloss. And then they have the lip stain, which I'm a big, huge fan of. But if you've never used this before, definitely be aware that it is what it says it is. It is a lip stain, and it is going to stain your lips. And you will need a oil-based or waterproof makeup remover to get it off. But it will last all day, and it will last through eating and drinking. So pretty awesome. And then a nice size bag to put, you could fit hairbrush or comb, keep that in your locker, in your purse, in your book bag. So a great haul from Ulta, and like I said, another great experience there. So really cool. So thank you for joining me, and we will do another unboxing from them soon. Hi everyone. So today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to do kind of an unboxing for you. If you know me when you watch a lot of my videos, I'm not big on makeup. It's something that I do like to play around with, and it is something that I do like to do. Biggest issue right now is it's summer here where I live, which for Missouri means incredible humidity, and I sweat really bad. So makeup has always been an issue. So I recently went to Ulta and I got some purchases from them, and including some free gifts, and I was going to show those to you guys today. So here's the haul I got, so to speak. This is one of the free gifts. We'll get to that in a moment. This is another one of the free gifts. But the single most important purchase that I made is I found this, which is called NYX Freezy, and it is a base, and it's also a primer. So it's supposed to be instant cooling, and it's supposed to keep your skin cool as well. I tried it on in the store. I was truly impressed, and I have not opened this container, but I will open it for you now. And my face is completely clean. I don't have any makeup on or anything. The product itself doesn't really have much of a smell, which is nice. I'll just put a little tiny bit. It's kind of a jelly consistency. It goes on very smooth, very light. I'll just put a little bit on. A little bit goes a long way, but it is very cooling right away. It gets cooler the longer you have it on. It's kind of like you mist your face, that kind of feeling. And as it kind of, you need to give it a couple of minutes to sit before you put any makeup on. Like most primers, it has a little bit of tack to it, especially when you first put it on, especially if you're someone like me that has combination skin or summertime and you're sweaty. So definitely give it a couple minutes, but I am truly excited to use this on a regular basis. Only thing about it as the base, if you're looking for something that normally has sunscreen in it, this does not. I know some bases do, so that's something to consider. And if you're not a big fan of the NYX brand, you think maybe it's inexpensive makeup or makeup for younger people. As I've said before, I'm closer to 50 than 40, but I've been very impressed with this brand. I think they do a really good job, and they definitely give you the value for your money. Because of that purchase, this was $20. Because of that purchase, I got a freebie from NYX, which we'll open now. Some of these products look a little familiar. So this is their Plump Right Back Plumping Serum, and this is for your face. This is super great if you've got some areas that have sunk in because maybe you're a little bit dehydrated. Maybe that's just you have darker, deeper circles than other people. Maybe you've recently lost a lot of weight, and so you've got some areas of your skin that maybe don't have the same bounce back that they used to. This is super great for that. It's a great product. This I am not familiar with. This is a Dewy Satin Finish 16-hour primer setting spray. I'm sorry, not a primer, it's just a setting spray. I've used NYX's setting sprays before. I've been super impressed with them. They do last as long as they say they do, if not longer. They don't smell. You use very little product. It comes out as a really fine mist. See if you guys can. It's just a really super fine mist. And like I said, it lasts a really long time. But while it keeps the makeup on, it doesn't make your makeup impossible to get off if you use a good makeup remover. This I'm super excited about. This is their juice gloss. It's called This is Juice Gloss. It has electrolytes in it. This one is watermelon sugar, but I really like this. I like all of their lip glosses. I'm kind of a lip gloss freak. Um, this definitely smells like watermelon sugar. They last a long time. This has very little color. Just put a little bit on. You can see it just has a very, very little color, but it's nice. It has a little bit of plumping action, definitely has plenty of shine. And the nice thing about this glass, I know for sure, so I've used a different color of it, it lasts all day. And it will last through straw usage, it will last through drinking out of a glass, and it doesn't make your lips tacky and it doesn't dry them out. So super excited to get that. And then last thing that was in this freebie, this is a liner stick, and it's their Epic Wear, and this is in, doesn't really have a color per se, but it's a really pretty hot pink. I'm sorry, it's called Pink Spirit. This is the eyeliner. I've used their eyeliners not pink before, but I've used some of their fun colors like purple and lime. The colors are true to what they show on the package, and they do last a very long time. They don't smudge if you're somebody that tears up a lot or experiences sweat. And I'll bring that up because that's just me. That's what happens to me. And that's one of the biggest issues with makeup is that it's not meant for people that live a real life. And this does definitely work for people that have any kind of moisture on your face. It will not run. It's not going to smear. But it's also easy to take off at the end of the day with a good makeup remover. So that's what I got from NYX. The whole reason why I actually went into Ulta was to get some more eyebrow pomade. So this is Ulta brand's brow pomade, and I've used this brand before, and I really, really, really like it. It's thick, it lasts a long time, it's super easy to apply. I usually use a dual-ended eyebrow brush with a spoolie on one end and an angled brush tip on the other. I usually come through my brows first and then kind of just tap, tap, tap with a brush and then run it through to blend it. Sometimes I'll use my finger if I get too much and I want to melt some of it off. But it melts really quickly with your own body heat, and it blends perfectly with your natural brows. So if you've got, like me, where you've got spots that you need to fill in, or if you're going from scratch, if you don't have eyebrows hardly at all, it will make them look very natural. And if you're very talented with a brush, you can do individual hair strokes. I'm not that talented, but I know people who are, and the pomade works really great for that. So this was $10, which was awesome. They were running a special that if you spent $19.50, you got a free bag, which we'll go over here in a little bit. This was $10. Also in the Ulta brand, this is a cream eyeshadow and liner, and this is in their I Lilac You a Lot color. So it's a light purple. This goes on like a crayon, basically, and it's super blendable. You can use it as a liner. You can use it all over your eyes. You can use it with a regular eyeshadow or another cream eyeshadow to do your whole lid. I like doing this kind of like a really thick liner or up to my crease, and then doing an actual powder shadow on top. Or occasionally I'll just do the whole eye in it. But it's super great for blending. It's super great for just solo use. The other nice thing, if you want to do a wild color, thicker line or extended cat eye, this is great for that. Like I said, it's like a crayon tip. These twist up so you don't have to sharpen, which is great too. This was also $10, which earned me their freebie bag, and they're pushing kind of back to school products. So they had two colors of the bag and two different shapes. I picked this one just because it's a little bit bigger, and I do like bags to store makeup that I'm not using or to throw in my work bag to go with me, etc. But they had pink or the very, I think it was black or very dark blue. So this has all kinds of fun stuff in it. A little kit inside. I will tell you, Ulta, when it comes to their own brand and their giveaway, They are definitely not stingy, and they will definitely give you um, tons of freebies. And I will say this is not a sponsored video. This is just something I wanted to do. So this has their mascara. This is their Ultimate Lashes. I've never been disappointed by any of their mascaras. They last a long time. This one is not waterproof. I personally don't like waterproof mascara. Sometimes it messes with my eyes. I have not sensitive eyes, but sometimes it does mess. But theirs does not bleed like if you would cry. You're not going to like a raccoon. It's also going to last quite a long time. Came with a nice shadow brush. And then it came with this whole palette. Let's see if we can open this up without making a mess. Okay, forgive me guys, I gotta do a mic check. It's first time using the mic with this camera, so have to let me know how you like it. This is the eye and face palette. It's shades of pinks and some darker colors. It's called Meet Me in the Moonlight. It's got Secret Admirer, like a blush. Right here is Truly highlighter. Kind of your base color that they call Sorbet. Tea Time Pink, Enchanted Pink. This is like a sparkle gray called Romance, solid gray called Everlasting, and then like a very dark maroon called Charming. So very cute colors. Definitely kind of going into fall, back to school, that kind of thing. So very nice. They gave you a sample size of their poreless face primer, which I have used. I'll definitely be using this once it gets cool again. For now, I'm going to be using that NYX, at least until it cools off, which probably won't be till October here. But this poreless face primer, if you're someone that has larger pores, either all over your face or in certain spots of your face, definitely minimizes those pores. It also helps kind of even your skin tone really well altogether. And then they gave us a sample of their matte eye primer in nude. They have a couple different colors of matte eye primer. Some people like to use this like just an eyeshadow base, like a base color, and then blend from there. Oh, it's super great if you use glitter or any kind of shimmering, like they had in the free palette. Any kind of that shimmering, it'll definitely make that adhere a little bit better. Came with a beauty blender, very nice one actually. Has a really good point on it. Very good, squishy. Seems like it'll wash up really well. Let's see. And then it came with a velvet matte liquid eyeliner. I'm sorry, liquid lipstick. And let's see if they tell you the color. They do not. But I like velvet matte. Some people don't. If you don't like the matte, you can always put like a clear gloss on top. I found that as a nice trick too to kind of duplicate the amount of wear you can get from each color. And then they gave you, this is really cool. This is their lip stain. They have this in several colors. I've used it before. This is definitely something you've been scared to try, a lip stain. Definitely give Ulta's brand a try. It's not that expensive compared to other lip stains. And I think it's something that you're not going to be intimidated using. It has a good rabbit foot brush. It goes, I will tell you, less is more. I know that from experience. But it definitely goes on easy, lasts all day. You don't need to put anything on top of it. However, for some people, if you have already dry lips, even if you exfoliate, which I do recommend that you do before using this, or a matte lipstick, I would recommend putting a clear gloss over it just so that your lips don't get sticky. This will last through eating, drinking. It'll last pretty much all day. And I will tell you, you do need to use either like an oil-based makeup remover cleanser or one of those special makeup towels or waterproof makeup remover to get it off all the way, because it is literally going to stain your lips. That's its job, basically. So that's all the freebies that were in there. That's pretty awesome for spending $20 on their products. Obviously, most of it's sample size. The beauty blender is not, obviously. The mascara is full size. But for 20 bucks to get all that free and a nice bag, the bag is kind of squishy and padded, but it's a nice bag. It's not going to get beat up easily. It's a great deal. Other things I got, they have a brand there called Essence, which is definitely on the less expensive side. It's, I would say it's aimed more for the younger crowd, but there is definitely some makeup in there for people my age and up. And it's also makeup that I kind of like to play around with if you want to do something different. They had some stuff called Positive Vibes Only. This is the color changing lipstick. So let me swatch this on my hand. It goes on clear and it's supposed to change. We'll see if it does. Um, but it's got some glitter in it as well, so that's pretty cool. And then they have the Positive Vibes Only color changing blush stick, which I was pretty excited to try. It comes out this funky green, and then okay, so there's a little bit of pink from the um, from the lipstick. It's a very faint pink. I'm sure it would show up a little bit better on your lips. Um, but we'll swatch this blush and give it a second. But like I said, this Essence brand is a little less expensive than some of the other makeups that they have in store. It's definitely fun makeup to experiment with. They have some really cool sets of blush and highlighter combos, eyeshadow combos, and then bigger kits of eyeshadow. So just if you want to play around with different colors, do things that you haven't necessarily done before, this is a brand that you could definitely invest less money in to play around with and try shades that you might like, and you can find something very close in higher brand makeup when you decide if you like the shade or not. So yeah, definitely got some peach going on here in the blush. It's pretty cool. I'm excited to try it, and I will have it on in a video later this week, and I will let you guys know what I think about it. So those are all the products that I got at Ulta. If you live in Missouri, I shopped at the one in Chesterfield Valley. Store was super clean, super nice. The employees were very friendly. Yes, they always try to push some extra products and tell you what their specials are, but they're not super pushy. I really had a very enjoyable experience there. I do have their store credit card, so you do get extra points for having that, which is great too. But like I said, it's a good experience every time I go in there. I haven't really had a bad experience with Ulta. So, and they do run a lot of stuff on sale. Sometimes there's stuff that's on sale only online, so it's worthwhile to check their online as well. So, not a sponsored video, just wanted to do a little unboxing with you guys, share what I got. I would love to hear from any of you who shop at Ulta, for yourself, for parents, partners, kids. I would just love to hear your experience if it's the same across the globe or if it's kind of just a store by store basis. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I look forward to talking to you soon.
The Book of Jonah. If we had to describe this book in one sentence, it would be about a reluctant prophet who was running from God and he is swallowed by a big fish. So, chapter 1. The word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amiel. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because their evil has come before me. Jonah got up to flee to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. He went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. He paid the fare and went down into it to go with them to Tarshish from the Lord's presence. But the Lord threw a great wind onto the sea, and such a great storm arose on the sea that the ship threatened to break apart. The sailors were afraid, and each cried out to his God. They threw the ship's cargo into the sea to lighten the load. Meanwhile, Jonah had gone down to the lowest part of the vessel and stretched out and fallen into a deep sleep. The captain approached him and said, "What are you doing, sound asleep? Get up, call to your God. Maybe this God will consider us, and we won't perish." "Come on," the sailors said to each other. Let's cast lots. Then we'll know who is to blame for the trouble they're in." So they cast lots, and the lot singled out Jonah. They said to him, Tell us who is to blame for this trouble we're in. What is your business and where are you going from? What is your country and what are the people you are from? He answered them, I'm a Hebrew. I worship the Lord God of the heavens who made the sea and the dry land. Then the men were seized by a great fear and said to him, What have you done? The men knew he was fleeing from the Lord's presence because he told them. So they told him, What should we do to you so that the sea will calm down for us? For the sea was getting worse and worse. He answered them, Pick me up and throw me into the sea so that it will calm down for you, for I know I am to blame for this great storm that is against you. Nevertheless, the men rowed hard to get back to dry land, but they couldn't because the sea was raging against them more and more. So they called out to the Lord, Please, Lord, don't let us perish because of this man's life. Don't charge us with innocent blood. For you, Lord, have done just as you pleased. Then they picked Jonah up and threw him into the sea, and the sea stopped raging. The men were seized by a great fear of the Lord, and they offered sacrifice to the Lord and made vows. The Lord appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah, and Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to the Lord God from the belly of the fish. I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. I cried out for help from deep inside Sheol. You heard my voice when you threw me into the depths, into the heart of the seas. The current overcame me, all your breakers and billows and swept over me. And I said, I have been banished from your sight. Yet I will look once more towards your holy temple. The water engulfed me up to my neck. The watery depths overcame me. Seaweed was wrapped around my head. I sank to the foundations of the mountains. The earth's gates shut behind me forever. Then you raised my life from the pit, Lord my God. As my life was fading away, I remembered the Lord, and my prayer came to you, to your holy temple. Those who cherish worthless idols abandon their faithful love. But as for me, I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. I will fulfill what I have vowed. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Then the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land. The word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. Get up, go to the great city of Nineveh, and preach the message that I tell you. Jonah got up and went to Nineveh according to the Lord's command. Now Nineveh was an extremely great city, a 3-day walk. Jonah set out on the first day of his walk in the city and proclaimed, In 40 days Nineveh will be demolished. Then the people of Nineveh believed God. They proclaimed a fast and dressed in sackcloth, from the greatest of them to the least. When word reached the king of Nineveh, he got up from his throne, took off his royal robe, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. Then he issued a decree in Nineveh. By order of the king and his nobles, no person or animal, herd or flock is to taste anything at all. They must not eat or drink water. Furthermore, both people and animals must be covered with sackcloth, and everyone must call out earnestly to God. Each must turn from his evil ways and from his wrongdoing. Who knows? God may turn and relent. He may turn from his burning anger so that we will not perish. God saw their actions. They had turned from their evil ways, so God relented from the disaster he had threatened them with, and he did not do it. Jonah's anger. Jonah was greatly displeased and became furious. He prayed to the Lord, Please, Lord, isn't this what I said while I was still in my own country? That's why I fled towards Tarshish in the first place. I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger, abounding in faithful love, and one who relents from sending disaster. And now, Lord, take my life from me, for it is better to die than to live. The Lord asked, Is it right for you to be angry? Jonah left the city and found a place east of it. He made himself a shelter and sat there in the shade to see what would happen to the city. Then the Lord God appointed a plant, and it grew over Jonah to provide shade for his head to rescue him from his trouble. Jonah was greatly pleased with the plant. When dawn came the next day, God appointed a worm that attacked the plant, and it withered. As the sun was rising, God appointed a scorching east wind. The sun beat down on Jonah's head so much that he almost fainted, and he wanted to die. He said, It is better for me to die than to live. Then God asked Jonah, Is it right for you to be angry about the plant? Yes, it's right, he replied. I'm angry enough to die. And the Lord said, You cared about the plant, which you did not labor over it and did not grow. It appeared in a night and perished in a night. So may I not care about the great city of Nineveh, which has more than 100,000 people who cannot distinguish between their right and their left, as well as many animals?
Hi, I'm so glad you could come over. I'm really sorry you had a bad day at work, but we're gonna make it all better, okay? I promise. Yeah, your hair's so soft. Mine is stick straight and feels like a stick sometimes, but yours is so soft. Alright, I thought to help you relax before we go hang out by the pool a little bit, I thought we would do a little skincare and, just help you relax, okay? So, let me do that for you. Let's brush your hair back just a little bit, okay? Alright, and then I'll put this little cute guy on you. Look at that. One. There we go. Okay. Does that feel tight anywhere? Oh, let me do it again. Hold on. Alright, you ready? How's that feel? Good? Okay, good. Good deal. Alright, cool. So, I thought we would do a little skin cleansing. I have this energizing jelly. It's got that yuzu lemon that everybody's just like so about right now. I thought that would be really great. So that smells so good. Smell it. Yeah. So the cool thing about this is you can use it as a mask, like a short-term mask, like one of those like 5-10 minute ones, or you can just use it as a cleanser. So I thought we could use it as a cleanser, kind of refresh, wipe away the day kind of thing. So okay. And this will just get off any leftover makeup, anything like that that you have on your skin. Get some more. There we go. Now, take that. Anything left on your skin, any makeup. Can you close your eyes? Thanks. Perfect. Okay, your nose. Okay, your chin. Great. Okay, perfect. And I've got one of those makeup cloths. Yeah. So I'll just wipe. Close your eyes for me. Thanks. Just like everything. All of it. Okay, perfect. You just dry your face. Okay. Great. How do you feel now? A little refreshed, a little energized. Okay. Alright, let me. So, what if we did your eyebrows a little bit? What about that? Kind of tidy them up. Not that they're bad, but just a little gross. Okay. Before we do that, I thought we could put some lip mask on it. So, okay, like that. Okay, a little bit. And then open your mouth. like where it gets a little raw in the corners from talking all day long. Yeah, I know. With our job, it's like all day long. I know. Okay, perfect. All right, so actually, let me get my little. Okay, let me just brush them out a little bit. Okay. Okay. Perfect. All right. I brush them up. Okay. And I'm just gonna trim a little bit. Okay. Just so they're even. Okay. You trim over here. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it looks much better. Okay, let me flatten them out back like you normally wear them. Okay. And there's just a couple little stray hairs. Okay. Okay. I promise I'll be really, really, really gentle. Just relax, okay? Okay. Ready? Did you feel that? Okay, good. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So, yeah, they look nice and even now. Okay, good deal. So, next I thought I would do a little bit of skincare because I know we're going to put suntan lotion on when we go outside, but I'm going to kind of prep your skin a little bit, okay? So this is one of those Japanese skincare items, and it is an emulsion. It's really awesome. I found them actually in the book section in the like HB area in Costco the other day, of all places. I know, but I really like it. I think it smells really pretty and soft, and it does an excellent job. So let me. Yeah, you don't need much. That'll do like your whole face. So you smell it. It smells really fresh. Okay. Start. Okay. Okay. Perfect. I know you have some dry spots on your cheeks a little bit, so I'm gonna put a little bit extra. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Okay. How's that feel? Does that feel amazing? Yeah. Okay. So, while that's soaking in, close your eyes. Close your eyes. We'll do some affirmations together. Okay. Tell you what. Why don't I brush your face a little bit? Because that's pretty dry now. And we'll do a little bit of face brushing and affirmations, okay? Alright. You are an incredible friend. And you are so smart. Don't peek, close your eyes. This is your time. Thank you. You are beautiful and amazing. You are so kind to everyone. You are smart and you have a beautiful soul and the biggest, kindest heart of anyone. Open your eyes. Don't laugh. That stuff works. I am a firm believer in it. You are amazing. Okay. Since we're going outside, let's put a little extra moisture on top. And this is going to soak right in. This is some of that e.l.f. holy hydration stuff that I was talking about. I know e.l.f. is so cheap, but it really, really works. Just put this just a little bit, okay? Down your nose, brush your forehead, down your cheeks, side of your face, other side, your cheeks, your chin. Lift up, let me put it on your neck a little bit. Okay, perfect. Now that is going to soak in, and then we get to put suntan lotion on when we go outside. It'll make it really soak deeply in your skin, and not only are you going to have a little extra sun, hopefully not burn like me, but you'll be nice and soft and hydrated. So, I'm so glad you let me take care of you today. You are my best friend, and I'm sorry that work has been stressful, but you are awesome. Don't forget that. Okay, let's go ahead outside. Come on, it's a great day.